Beautiful place. Uh, maybe 30 miles from the motel in Richland, there's a Maple Grove campground or something right over here. And there's a hiking trail, Rock Canyon. And basically, I'm just going to stay here for 2 days. I'm just going to rest up. Probably slept 5 hours, maybe less last night. And it's just been short sleep for days with the cold and the wet. And it's not exactly warm today, but it's nice. And probably the next 2 nights will be in the mid-30s here. But there's beautiful flowing water because there's snow, maybe 1,500 feet up higher. And I'm going up this rock canyon tomorrow. And so this is it. It's a little hard to believe it was already 2 o'clock when I looked at the clock after setting up here. But I guess it goes fast. This was a workout to get up here because the highway is across the valley on the other side. It's like 4 miles. It was a workout uphill. Anything else? Yes. The bicycle has a new tire and a new chain, and things are just working smoothly with that. The gears were getting a little hard to change, so I cleaned these out a little bit with some of that stove fuel, and I think it helped, but I need to lube it. I'd really like to take it apart and clean it. I'm just never done it. I'm afraid it won't go back together right. That's that. Now I'm gonna kick back. I would see those in eastern Oregon. Some nice long distant views here. I'm glad I was. There's a lake or reservoir down there. And then up on top there's a mountain peeking over right there. That's a pretty big mountain. And I don't have that part of the map with me, so I don't know what it is. I'm glad I wasn't out camping last night because 2 big storm cells passed through. And they were strong, windy, rainy. I had the windows open in the motel room and it was blowing like crazy. Probably cold. Tonight it'll be chilly. Gonna head up this trail tomorrow. This is Fish Lake National Forest. And that's Maple Cove or something like that campground down there. And I'm just far enough out of reach that I can hear a door slam, and that's about it. Great news is we're going to have a weather warm-up tomorrow a little bit. This is when I hike and come back, and basically I'm also staying here to relieve myself of some of the weight that I acquired in town here. Stocked up again on stove fuel, so that's excessive weight. And then there's food. I need to eat 2 days, but this was part of the plan, just to get here to the national forest and just drop for 2 days, relax. But the warm-up will come in 2 days, and luckily I'm through that southern part of the ride, because they're talking 95 degrees. Up here maybe 85, but tomorrow 65, then 80, 85, then 70s for 2 days with some cloud cover. And the next storm system is passing north of here, which is a relief, because I have 2 large sage deserts to cross without any drinking water. There might be a lake or reservoir that I could tap into, but I don't know if I'll do it or not. The first one's 80 miles, and the next one I think is only 40 miles. And honestly, I might even just go to the last gas station and ask for a ride, because 80 miles, that's a commitment of 2 days, and camping water. Drinking water for 80 miles and camping water. It might be 70 with the last town there. But it's a big commitment. It's a big commitment, very much like my first 2 nights through New Mexico. Those wild peas are mixed in everywhere in this sagebrush, and the bees are loving it. And because it's so high up in elevation, they're only going to grow like about this big. Here was a bonus. I found these on the side of the road. I told myself if I saw some hot sauce, I'd pick it up. I've seen some ketchup, but that don't do anything for me. But man, just one of these, it could like really flavor a dinner nicely. So there's 10 here. I ate one already and it tasted fine. It's a great morning. This is a bird utopia. Owls, turkeys, robins, flickers. What's the other one I saw? Just now I saw. I forgot. But they're everywhere in here. There's a spring gushing out of the bottom of that rock wall over there. So I'm spending a day here, and it's kind of nice just to stop and think about what's coming up ahead, so that one can plan a little better. And I'm pulling things from my pack, and I am going to ship them away at the next post office to my final destination for a pickup by myself. But the reason is that from here on out, I'm going to be connecting the dots between sagebrush desert, empty. There will be cars on the road that I could stop and ask for help if I need it, but no services, no cities along the way. So I'm just going through everything. I even started a list yesterday, and I'm putting things over here. These are clothes. There's a vest in here. The vest I slept on last night. It was comfy, but mostly the cold came from above and came down. There was dew everywhere. It was a cold night. And for every cold night, I have to scrunch my arms under my body to stay warm. My back somehow stays warm in the bag. That's the only way I can sleep and get warm. But the vest is mainly for winter storms, cold, rainy winter storms. And I have maybe 3 more places that I may need it, but here it is nearly mid-May, and I'm just going to take a chance I don't need it. In here also are some nice green shorts that I like to wear, but I'm just going to have to send them away. I have cut off or zip off pants that double as shorts, and I'm just going to go with those. And here is a book which I want to keep, but I'm getting another book in 4 or 5 days. 2 Forest Service maps that are brand new that I could possibly sell at some point, and 2 AA batteries. So there's my start. The other thing is I was kind of fretting about having clean clothes, and you have to rely on a small city having a laundromat. Well, the pickup point or the power-up point is Ely. That's 4 or 5 days out. There'll be a laundry there and I'll probably use it, but right now I was sitting here thinking, well, heck, man, there's water right over here at the campground, and I've got this tree that I'll dry out just a few select things to get me the rest of the way. Another thing happened that was a little strange, and it's because of the way I'm having to travel through these mountains. It's in a sort of a zigzag fashion. For the next day, pedaling will be the same thing, and it's quite long distances on the bike. But I lost my bearings yesterday, thinking that this way was west. Well, it was actually north, so I was thinking, oh man, I'll get a great, nice, long sunset. Well, this way is west, and the sun went down at 5:30, and it got cold, but I knew it would happen, but this way is east, and so it was a great sunrise. Unfortunately, tomorrow I hope to leave before the sunrise, so I might have to have some wet stuff like the tent and things like that. Again, it's a great thing just to kind of sit with your stuff and think about your next bit of travel and make some adjustments, because I will have to carry lots of water. Yeah, this here, a slip or a stumble, it would probably be my demise. Because even though I can't see down there, You just look across and imagine the same thing. You can see the snow up there. A lot of beautiful, beautiful water down here. This is Rock Canyon, and it hasn't been too bad. There are some switchbacks, a little steep, but then you'll have a stretch of flat area. Now, one thing is that for some reason they're letting the cattle come up here, and the bottom part of the trail is just ripped up, man. Crap all over the place. But they must go up, I think, because this isn't that worn. Here's a really nice spot for a campsite. Pretty much the rest of it was really steep and narrow. You just have a little feeder wash coming down here. And there's all of these purple bell flowers. Like that. It's the time to see the flowers, because they'll be gone soon. This is a nice snack. I got some peanut butter and some cinnamon graham crackers, and it's a nice substitute for breakfast, real quick, and lunch. Just a nice power snack, filling. The only thing is, when you buy the full jar, you're committed to an extra pound of weight. But that was a couple days ago, and it's almost half gone, more than half gone, so it's not really a problem. I'm gonna head up even more, maybe till the snow level. It's close, and there are some old growth trees hiding out back here. And when the wind blows, it's cold. Right now it's coming down this canyon right off of the snow, and you wouldn't think it, but it's pretty chilly. It's about as far as I'm going here. Starts to get a little muddy, and then there's the snow. And I think this might be the first time that I've been amidst aspen trees. What I thought was a burnt out forest are actually aspen trees, yet to bud and bloom. I can also see into the next valley, which is kind of crazy, a bunch of houses and stuff. Here I am on Frontage Road next to Interstate 15, and I'm so glad I was able to take this road and not have to take the busy highway. It's quite steep. I'm up in the pass. What city is down here? Holden. Like Holden a Golden. So I'm gonna go to Holden, get my water for camp, and head towards Delta. Had a real crappy night, probably up since 1:30, tossing in that sleeping bag and tent. It was cold. Just looking for a nice warm night, quiet and peaceful, and I can get the rest I need. And then the tent was wet from condensation and dew, just irritating. And then with such a fuzzy start to the day, I didn't put anything under the kickstand. The bike fell over and I broke off my mirror. And that was sad because I've had that mirror since I bought the bike. Thus, my backup, which was really messed up, I was pushing my way back to the gate because I had to go over a gate. And I set this right here, and it fell off the bike somewhere in 100-yard stretch through the sage. And how frustrating was that after breaking a mirror and losing this? Luckily I found it. It would have really sucked. Now this mirror is actually better. It's sharper, it's quicker, I can look and see it quicker, and I can move like this to adjust it to see what's behind me. It's just really frustrating when I want to look to see the mountains or whatever, and it's right in the way. So now I think the flustering beginning of the day is over. I even went to the post office here in this little town, and it took me like a half hour to find it. It's like this little log cabin. This lady's doing some lady's hair behind the counter in her house. But I got rid of a lot of weight. Maybe 5 pounds, something like that. Yeah, nice and warm today. Hope this evening's nice. Yep. Here I am. I'm in a motel room. The city is Delta, Utah. And things have been pretty sparse out there. It's getting hot too. Probably 80 degrees. So, the thing is, there's absolutely nothing else outside of these cities. That's what I mean by sparse. I was thinking of camping before the city to save money, but what I've decided is that I'm going to hit the road like at 3 in the morning and hopefully pedal for 4 hours. I'm going through a stretch of desert. Now what I find out is 90 miles. And I'll have to take water for 2 days. And for camping, there's no choice unless it's ridiculous to think I can pedal 90 miles in a day. Today was great. I got 68 miles. Just came out of nowhere. A lot of it was downhill from that campsite. But then I had that dirt road climb and then back down, and then it was flat. Really flat with no headwind. Tomorrow's going to be a key day for me for wind because I'm going straight west through the desert for as many miles as possible. And it's going to be 5 degrees warmer. I was told there's this lady here at the motel said that she saw a tree get planted, and I'll probably have to stop there and show it, but she said it's about the only tree for shade and a good camping spot. Oh, so after this morning, the horrible start to the day, the 68 miles was a great payoff. And with these stinky, smoky smelling rooms, I'm going to need a little inebriation to just put me down, kind of pretend I'm drunk with the headache. I have a headache right now from being in here like half an hour. And I've got 3 burgers to eat. This is the first time, other than buying pie, that I'll be eating out. So now the real trick, before I get all ass tired, is I got to get the bike ready for tomorrow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch some of the lighter things to the back, like my sleeping bag, and I'll just put water all around it. I can just I'm going to have to carry like 10 liters, I think. Yep. There's the sun. I've been pedaling now since 3:30. I don't know what time it is. Maybe 6:30. I put on 30 miles this morning, but it was brutally cold. I could not believe how cold it was. My toes are numb. My fingers are numb. I couldn't use my thumb to push the gear changer. Man, it was bad. And I just, the only thing is that I just had to keep pedaling and could barely stay warm. I don't think I'll do it again under those same circumstances. So now I'm going to warm up and have some coffee and breakfast. And really all I have to do is pedal like 20 more miles today. It's going to be a warm day though, I think. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, warming up real quick. Climbed up this road. Been a long straight shot. And I think I'm going to angle around this way. I'm going to take the lens off here. The line next to the road is a pipeline, I think natural gas. And this, I think is dry. I think it just looks like there's water down there. Might be like salt. That's Sevier Lake. And I'm just about to crest here. I hope it doesn't go down and then I have to go back up. But it's been real peaceful back here. Not too much traffic yet. Forgot to say I had a horrible night's sleep. I would say never expect to get good sleep on a bicycle touring trip. I think I turned the lights out at 10 thinking I'd get 4.5 hours of sleep, which is not bad. And some yokel came in at midnight making like it was a gymnasium next door. And then I woke up right before the alarm. So I'm working on about 3 hours sleep, patchy sleep. And I'm almost certain that, maybe 7 to 10 more miles and I'll find the place I want to camp. And I will go to sleep. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. Check this out. I am way up here. I had to climb this valley. This is the pass, like the last pass before I go back down and cross the border into Nevada. That's about 30 miles, which I'm really happy for because I've been up 10 hours since 3 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock now. And I bicycled 61 miles, which is just really fulfilling. And now I had to climb up here for the shade. There's just a few trees right next to the road down there in the pass. Anything lower, there's absolutely no cover at all. And this is like a little BLM feedlot or some crazy crap with cattle. Just this little bowl up here. I mean, it's really fabulous with how close I am to the top. I might get out this afternoon, but right now it's going to be nap time. And tomorrow I'm not going to ride in the dark. That was just way too cold, way difficult. It's the warmest day yet, and this was the main reason for bringing this, was for a sunshade. This was actually the first time I needed it. I had the water loaded on the bike, repositioned it with, I think I had 3 liters in each back bag. And then there were 2 on the rack. And I think I had a 1.5 on the front. And started with 2.5 on my back. Still doesn't add up, right? I think I started with 10 liters. I have to take a water inventory because I'll need to save 4 to get safely through the 30 miles. I'm always wary of the wyvern. I'm not calling it the 4-letter word anymore. Oh, you came off the stake. The stake came out. That sucked. All right. Time out. There's a narrow strip of long, slender trees right there. I just wonder what kind they are. There's a really neat formation there. Over here, I noticed it was greener up there. That's where the water starts, if there's any. Fabulous. Today worked out really well with the timing and the heat, because right about when I got my mileage in and my destination, it was starting to get hot, and I had to push the bicycle over half a mile to get it where it is. It's a rough road. And yeah, it's pretty hot right now. I'm dehydrated for sure. I can't believe that over 60 miles maybe, I drank only a liter from my platypus and maybe 2 cups of Powerade and a cup of coffee. Here's a nice view. Right now, I am on my last reserve bit of energy, and I came up here because when I get back I'm gonna cook dinner. Hopefully the sun will be gone, things will cool off. It's really, really hot. Yeah, there might be some water somewhere. I'm not looking for it. I just wanted to come back and see if there were any big animals back here. It's actually called Cat Canyon. And I did see a footprint down there. This just kind of edges around back there. Here it's the next day, and there was still quite a bit more to climb to get through that pass, and a whole lot more trees, a whole lot more camping opportunities. I got exactly what I wanted, though, was privacy, sanctuary, and lots of good sleep. Coming back down the other side, it's kind of a different terrain. There's more granite, and there's some really cool caves up here. And I'm just gonna quickly look up here, but there were even more around the other side. This was nice here too. Look at that. This is the view I wanted last night for my campsite, which actually would have been cool up here somewhere because I wanted to see these mountains. So I'm trying to figure out my plan for the day here. I can actually see, I think it's called Baker. It's like the doorway to the National Park, Great Basin National Park. That's over there. I'm going through this pass, and in between here and the pass, maybe 25 miles, is the state line where there's an RV park, a gas station. I'll get my water and start to head up into the pass. I'll just have to carry enough to spend the night. I was thinking maybe there could be some water up there with all the snow that's still up there, but I don't think it flows that way. And there might be one possibility, but I'm not going to go off-road that far. 929 miles. It's really hard to believe. 170 miles in the last 3 days. That's some solid riding. 44 miles today, and it was south-southwest wind just coming to the side of my face like this, and it was slowing me down, and a couple times I'd get blasted. Once into the gravel. I think when a car came by, it was pretty wacky, and that's the kind of riding that just gnaws at your stamina, because you have to have both hands on the handlebars, and for me to let go and stretch out, sit straight up for a few minutes, that helps me with my back and my stamina. But hunched over like this, it's hard, and I think I have more of those days ahead of me. But this was my payoff, man. These awesome trees here. I don't know what kind they are. The tips are pretty sharp. It's a pine tree of some kind. And it's just gonna make this for as long as it's windy. I love it. This was an odd thing I just had a splatter of rain come down. I'm not ready for rain. I like to get cooked, my dinner prepared before that. I'm in Nevada. Oh, cocksucker! Fix yourself. Fucking put a computer in this thing. I'm in Nevada. I'm on Pacific time now. That makes me happy. I like the end of the day longer like that. This camera's throwing me off like shit. This is Sacramento Pass. I'm very near to Ely, where I'll get a power-up package. But tomorrow's Sunday. I can't do it. So I gotta take a short day and a real short day. I can't stay here 2 days. There's no water. There's a wee ass trickle over there. And I couldn't believe it. Coming up from under the road through the drain pipe. I noticed a lot of green trees over there and probably could get some water. I'm not really keen on staying here 2 days. This is nice over here. There's another. That snow was put on there during that 7-day storm. I'll bet you these mountains were nearly dry of snow. Alright, one more tidbit. That night riding was pretty cool. Alright, I was going to say something about the night riding. I could see when I left town the Milky Way, like being inside of it or something. And as time went on and the Earth rotated, it slowly all set. It was crazy. And also, riding in the dark I rode over a dead bird, a really big dead bird. And it's a dangerous thing because you could run into anything actually, hit a hole, but it's how I do it. And it was just like plump, and then all the weight from the back went crunch, like bunches of crunching noises like eggs, but it was its bones. And it took me a while to figure it out, and then I realized there was some blood on my boot, and blood and like guts on the wheels. It was pretty gross. Okay, this was kind of a mix-up of a day, but it's totally perfect. I pedaled only 24 miles from the last pass, and it seems like I've been going from pass to pass the last 3 nights to get into the trees. But as luck and fate would have it, just a few miles down, the bad luck is a major highway connects into Highway 50 and Highway 6, which I've been following, and they've been as sparse could get. Nearing Ely, it got busier. But there's a place, Major's Place or something like that. There's a bar there, and I grabbed 3 liters of water because I could see this traffic just horrible coming through this pass all the way to Ely, another 28 miles from here, which I'm going to get in the morning real early. I think a couple more miles up to crest the pass. It wasn't much. And then downhill, maybe uphill to Ely, all before they get busy again in the morning. I'll be there hopefully by 8:30. Also the weather, it's warm. I got a sunbreak. It was all clouded over, and I sat in the tent for a couple hours this morning. And where I came from, there's all kinds of dark clouds and thunderheads. Even this way, and maybe even over this way. This is the Humboldt National Forest. And I took the first road back here. Don't even know what time it is. I'm not even aligned with the Pacific time yet. But this is it. And that traffic is hellish. Semis. Idiots in their sports car that think there's enough room for me and the bicycle in this lane. You can eat shit. It's a horrible feeling to get all pissed off like that, and it just kind of sets the pace and ruins the day. You know, this is it. Power up tomorrow in Ely. I'll get my box. I've been just nibbling away at my possessions to get to that point, and so here's another opportune time. I've got another half a day to kill, and I've got 7.5 liters of water, which is almost ridiculous right now. I've got 5 liters of water to drink today and tomorrow before I leave. That's all. That's it. I am really tired still, and I need this break. When I get to Ely, I'm going to the White Pine Motel. That's what my biker friend told me. That's where he stayed. I'm going to get the package. I'm going to do my laundry. I'm also going to close my bank account there if that branch is still open here. So, rock on. This was a great place to come into. I can barely hear the highway. There's a forest road back here. See, it was either, you know, if I didn't get that water, I would have had to go all the way to this state campground or something about 10 miles outside of Ely. So, heck yeah, man, I grabbed that water and said, I'll camp in the pass. Well, I didn't get the pass. It's a couple more miles, but honestly, this solitude back here is what I really needed to kind of cool down, and I'm saving some money by not going to a state park. And, you know, getting up early, now knowing that this highway is so busy, it's going to just make everything a whole lot better. Well, this is one shitty motel. The White Pine Motel. It was recommended by a bicycle dude. You know, and then all these other ones. Gobs and gobs of motels in this place. Ely. And, look, man, there's paint on the window. There was no soap in the bathroom. The fucking carpet was all full of crumbs and dirt and Oh man, so I got here at 9:30. I beat the climb, the traffic climb to the pass. The ride this morning just started getting busy when I got into town. And it's just so amazing how just a couple hours can make the difference. I was up at 5 and hit the road like at 6:30. So I got this crappy motel way at the wrong end of town. It's all like uphill to anything else. And went to the Forest Service Center headquarters here and got some information about drinking water and campgrounds and stuff for the next stretch of my trip. Did my laundry, which was cool, and washed my bags. Well, that was nice. It cost me $2.75 a load, though. So it cost me $2.75 to wash my bags. But I know it's just going to make me feel better. And honestly, I might need to ask for a ride. So if it's a little cleaner, it might help. I've got my power-up package. These are the items from here to here in the front. I have to decide what to integrate into my pack. These are groceries purchased here in town, and I know that I'm going to be 2 days just like 8 miles from here in a National Forest campground, and the following night or nights will be at the next campground. So I'm just kind of going to stock up on food, and I don't have to worry so much about water. So I'm switching the pack back to, I'm switching the bags back to more of a, I'm switching the bags back to more of a food carrier and provision carrier and less water carrying. I imagine I'll spend 4 or 5 days, maybe more, depending on the pack. A little frustrating now, but I'm going to go through this and probably send a package again to Bishop for me to pick up. What's really interesting about that is that just up the street there's a store going out of business. They have all kinds of crap. 40 to 60% off. So I might go back there tomorrow morning, look for a few specific items that I could use when I get there. My bank, I closed my account today, and I think I was most assuredly not given what I had asked for in the form of currency. I asked specifically for $20 in singles. And I went through my bag that I put all the money in. There are no singles in there. Just 3 to match the end of the amount. But I specifically asked her for $20 in singles. And they were not there. So I called the bank and left a message for her. She wasn't there. And honestly, tomorrow, I'm going to raise some shit. I'm going to raise some shit. Because she's probably skimming. I don't know, man. It's silly. You know? I don't really care about my $20. I just want to fucking know if she took my money, and if, you know, just send it on up the ladder. Tell these people. So I got some groceries also, and here it is, nearly 3:30, 6 hours. 6 hours to go to the National Forest headquarters to do my laundry. I took a shower. I came back, emptied the clothes, took a shower, then went to the bank, the grocery store, and a couple places else looking for some postcards. Crazy how much time just ding away.